Okay, folks. So, as discussed earlier, for anyone who's just in a bit late, we'll just give this as straight live content, radio, TV, online, written. Okay. And we know it's late, so we won't keep you long. So we're all ready to go, and we might get Ellie to start.
If we can start with Elliot, really upsetting news. Someone with so much experience from playing at so many different places. How disappointing to see him leave the field?
Yeah, it's disappointing for all of us, like it was for Thomas. Is in the same manner. He's an unbelievably popular bloke amongst the group, and he's obviously his vast experience, the experience that he's not just got 70-odd caps at Test level, but in a Lions shirt is somewhat of a Lions legend in regards to 16 times that he's put the shirt on, 11 consecutive games. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? And 5 caps, could have been 6 if he'd have come off the bench. So a very experienced player who was back to his best as well. So very sad. We've just sent him off to the airport now, and he was the guy who announced the lineup for us for the Waratahs game. So that was a nice touch.
Which leads us on to his replacement. Owen's going to be joining everyone here tomorrow night. Can you chat to us a bit about why you felt that Owen was the right replacement for Elliot?
What we need for the squad in the here and now, with Elliot going and Blair coming in, and the options we've got at 15, the plenty of options we've got at 13, and wing, etc. A little bit vulnerable there in and around the 12 piece, and obviously he can play 10 as well. So when you look at the experience that Elliot's had, I mean, the experience, it isn't just the playing side, it's how you make the group feel. The little chats that you have around the place to make sure that everything's gelled together, and obviously Owen would bring a lot of that into the group.
When we chatted when you initially named your squad, I know you said then that Owen was finding his way back to fitness. How is his fitness now? Because obviously almost 2 months has passed since we had that conversation.
Well, he's fit, or else he wouldn't be picked. I know that the guys have been keeping close touch with him and others in regards to that, and he's been training full bore for quite some time now.
And just finally, a 4-4, which is an incredible achievement, and I guess says a lot about him both as a player and a man.
Well, yeah, he should be proud of himself, obviously. It's what we do in the here and now that counts, isn't it? So I'm sure that I think he flies in, gets here on late Friday night, so I'm sure he'll be dying to get at it.
Hi Andy.
Hi.
Is Owen coming in then predominantly because of his experience to be able to help prepare the team for the Test series, or does he have a real chance of featuring in those games?
Well, if he didn't have a chance, then what's the point? Everyone should be competing. That's what everyone in the group would want. But along with that, obviously the experience brings the support that you need for the group, and again, how you make the room feel.
And on Elliot, I know the kind of main thing is how you'll be feeling for him and how disappointed he'll be, but twice now you've lost players that are in absolutely great form.
Yeah.
Thomas as well. How frustrating as a coach to try and build this thing, and you've got some of your players in better form that are dropping out injured?
Well, I sure hope it's not a trend, but the reality is it's the sport that we all sign up for and play, and we know the history tells us that these things happen constantly on a tour like this, especially when the games are coming thick and fast like they are. So you think you're going okay as far as injuries are concerned. We actually are across the board, but it's just unfortunate over the last 2 games that we've lost 2 of our teammates.
So everyone else has pulled through okay, have they, from last night?
Yeah, yes.
Jamison okay then?
Jamison's good, yeah, and it was nice to get some minutes into some of our players. They'll feel certainly better for it.
Alex Mitchell having to do a lot of minutes at the moment. Is he relishing that?
Well, it's great, isn't it? That's why Ben's here. So Ben's now up to speed. like I've been saying, in regards to preparation time, there's been a captain's run, and everyone knows that a captain's run is only a small part of a normal training session, really. So there's a lot of work that's been done off the field and in walkthroughs and stuff like that. So a little bit of mind gym as far as Ben's concerned, but he's asking all the right questions anyway, and we're excited to see him get his first shot at putting a Lions jersey on off the bench at the weekend.
Thank you. And have you had any conversations with the other 10s that are already here about coming and what they should expect from the competitive nature of that?
Well, I mean, we announced to the backs in general in regards to Owen coming and Elliot going, so we've said from minute one that the only thing that we want is competition, and I think you can see that anyway, so that's what they expect.
And we spoke to Owen a couple of weeks ago at Saracens after he sort of returned there, and he was talking about having not completed his return to play yet, because he said he basically didn't have a team to do contact with. Has he done that? Because he said he'd have to wait till he was...
Yeah, he's been on with the doctor over the last couple of weeks and gone through all the protocols, etc. There might be a little bit of something to do when he first comes back, but everyone's up to speed with where he's at and fully fit and ready to go.
And he was talking a lot about the season he had with all the disruptions, the injuries he's had to deal with there, and sort of saying he was just trying to get himself back going, and then that happened again. So he's sort of short game time and short form. So can he find that in a very
well, that's what hopefully experience gives you, isn't it? You know, and he's the right man for at this moment in time for us. We know how much he looks after himself and prides himself on keeping himself in good nick anyway. So I suppose at this stage there are plenty of players that's not played for quite some time. I suppose experience, knowing what you can do, helps in that regard. Well, the best mates, so they're devastated. I mean, it just shows what type of bloke Elliot is. When he realised it was Owen that was coming in for him, he was actually delighted for him, you know, in such bad news for himself. So that shows the manner of the bloke. So yeah, I suppose I think they have been on the phone together. What was said, I don't know.
You spoke about the emotion of telling Billy Whelan that he was going to be a Lion. What was the emotion like to tell your son that he was going on Lion?
Well, he didn't cry like Finlay, so I suppose that's what happens when it's your fourth tour. He's delighted like everyone else. It was just a very short conversation, as in, yep, I can get ready, get packed, ready to go.
Do you think the trust that you have in him, and the fact you know him better than any other player in the world, plays a part in being able to invest in him, given the lack of form that he has, and being able to get on the pitch this year?
Well, I suppose you know what you know, and so does everyone else in the group. There's other coaches as well that are obviously in that conversation. It's not just on me. Obviously, I make the final call, and happy to do that. But these conversations have been going on in the background all the time about all sorts of players, and that's the call that we came to.
That's a bit like wearing your captain on Saturday.
Yeah.
So he's the right man for you to wear.
No, delighted for Tig. I mean, you know, I know the sad news of Elliot there, and the Owen news coming. That's the big one. But if we could get to the game, I mean, you know, the squad that's picked, it's an exciting one. There's some different variations within all that, and obviously at the top of that is Tig Byrne coming in as captain. So he's as honoured and delighted. He was. Yeah, it took him aback when I told him, and that's exactly the type of reaction you want.
You go and Blair.
You go again, here we go again.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for him this time. They must be thrilled, particularly you, obviously.
Well, Hugo, Blair, and Ben White, obviously the first time of putting the shirt on, so we're delighted for them and the families. Yeah, it's great to get Hugo out of bed and onto the training field tomorrow.
No sickness. He's kept his breakfast down today, isn't he?
all being well, yeah, he's just had his dinner now, so hopefully that stays down as well.
Just back on Owen, those of us who don't know, as you will look at this comeback, I suppose, and think it's remarkable, but having not played for England since the World Cup. What does that show about his resilience to come through the difficult time he had at the World Cup, and then all of the injuries and issues at Racing, and the world where he's had a restart with Saracens, and now he's out here? It's been a remarkable few
Yeah, I suppose.
months.
Yeah, I suppose for all of us, really. I mean, you know, we look at international games or we look at club games or whatever, but the person's still the person, and the character's still the character, and the player inside is still the player inside if he's fit and well and ready to fire. And we see all of that, all the hunger that's always been there. So we see him adding to the group and injecting a bit of life and experience as far as what he can bring to the squad.
What would you like him to add in terms of leadership and sort of that drive and stand thing?
Just like everyone else, just being himself. They wouldn't be picked unless that was the case anyway. So just being himself.
9 weeks since he.
I was just going to ask what's the soonest you could see him being involved in match day squad?
Well, we'll see how he travels, etc. And obviously what happens tomorrow night. But see him being involved soon enough. When that is, I mean, I wouldn't like to say because it's forever changing anyway.
And you know more than anyone the negativity that sometimes attaches itself to Owen through no fault of his own. But are you aware of maybe the sort of wider ripple effects his group might have on social media and beyond? And how that
Oh look, I hope people can get past that. Like, you know, I think there's been a lot of that nonsense for some time, and that was in the past. I think we all just need to move on and embrace what the Lions is all about and what we've got coming ahead.
He hasn't played for 9 weeks. Hasn't played a test match for 20 months. This is a hell of a ask.
Is it?
Well,
20 months a test match? I mean, like, you know, there's plenty of players that's not played test matches for quite some time.
So you don't think, I mean,
There's plenty of players, you know, there's a good few players missed 6 Nations and, you know, 12 weeks of not playing, etc. So I get the question. It's obviously in isolation, but the stories like that all over the place.
Andy, if you wanted to cover a 12, I guess you could have added him at any time. Was it important to retain 38 then? Was that?
No. You know, Elliot obviously covers a good few positions, but with Blair coming in and others showing that they can fill in different positions, that's the vulnerable enough position. But that could change again at the weekend if somebody like Tommy Freeman, who can cover 13, he can cover fullback. He has been doing. He can cover wing. If somebody who can cover all sorts of different positions has a bit of a knock, then we might look at someone else down the line. No, the number isn't the number. It's just what's right for the team.
Would you like your other 10s to feel slightly more uncomfortable with the pressure?
No, I mean, again, I get it, but I know the people on the inside. I know their characters, the people that we've got in the squad, and you're talking about the 10s. They're great characters, great professionals, great people who understand what it takes to be a brilliant teammate on a tour like this. I also understand the person that's coming in as well, so we're happy with that.
Andy, Owen always seems to is a touchstone of lightning wherever
Yeah.
he's involved, whether or not he's on the wrong side or the right side. It's sometimes a firestorm, and it must have hurt Owen and his family, and you and your family. Was there a
Yeah.
time when you finally decided that Owen was the man for this job, but then you had to ask yourself, look, do I want to go ahead with this because of all the fuss that sometimes...
Well, it has to be, the timing has to be right for him, first and foremost, for him and for the squad. And we obviously feel that the timing is right now, that we can all move on and push on, not just with Owen's career, but what we're trying to achieve here with Allianz.
No hesitation on his part at all,
No hesitation, no.
Okay, guys, we're going to take the last few, so if there's anything that's remotely related to the match on Saturday, now's your chance.
61.
We was obviously in our planning. We thought of doing this along the way as well. So here we are, and it just so happened that Ben got to be able to play in that position anyway. You know, that wasn't the plan, but it's always in the background because you're always aware these things can happen. So that was a nice little start as far as that concerned, and obviously there's many more pieces that could happen that we might have to put together in regards to that. But yeah, it's a different way for us, but it's an exciting one as well. We're trying to find out more about ourselves.
What do you think about 6? You looked at Henry today. You've got line up forwards as options as well.
Yeah.
I think that's had a few issues over the tour. So how are you feeling with that jersey?
Yeah, actually, Henry's a very good line-out forward. He is, and you don't underestimate him in there. And then, in regards to the best plan for the group that we've picked, we always come up with a line-out options or menu that's going to accommodate that. So I actually thought the line-out was pretty good at the weekend. Certainly how we got off to their ball as well. So we need to push on in that regard, though. That's for sure.
Andy, they seem to be trying to revive the career of Tupou, who's obviously one of the biggest men, probably the biggest man in the world at the moment. Be interested to come up against him because he's had his ups and downs.
I've respected everything that I've heard and seen this year from him. I think he's very brave of what he's done, and I love the nature of him putting himself out there and continue to put himself in the firing line as in professional sport every single week. And I know that he was in the Australian squad. He's now dropped back out to play against us, so I suppose he's got a point to prove, and I'm sure he'll be well up for that. Otherwise, why would you be there?
Are you looking forward to having an opportunity to come up against him? Because he's like.
Well, I've come up against him quite some time, and he's very disruptive, to say the least, and good at what he does. Ireland played against him in the autumn, and you saw the pace that he had, that he went straight up the middle of the field there. So he's not just a disruptive scrummager. He's certainly got power and pace on both sides of the ball, that's for sure.
And I know that you're speaking about his mental journey throughout this year, but is there a bit of an element that if you sow some more seeds of doubt now that it could be pay off?
Oh, look, we're trying to concentrate on ourselves, how we implement our game plan, our identity throughout this tour, and that's the main thing that we need to keep concentrating on.
And Hugh Jones didn't play a huge amount of rugby before coming on this trip. Are you seeing...
That's another one. There you go, yeah.
You seeing kind of him getting back to himself?
I thought it was good, and you saw what we did with Finn Russell in regards to putting him out there again, because he's trying to find his way back into playing, but into the way that we play, etc., and different combinations. I thought it was a great hit out for him the other night, and fast tracking his learning, etc., to put him out there and give him a bit of continuity. We think it'll be good for him.
Okay.
Andy, what areas of progress do you both want to see from the team?
A bit more continuity, a bit more putting things together, more. There's a bit of a stop-start nature with our outcomes, which is process-driven, 100%. Sometimes just lacking a little bit of staying in the moment as much as we possibly can. Having said that, I think it's getting better. So I suppose there's always things, Jerry, to fix in every single game, but we've also been pleased with some of our progression. You know, I thought our breakdown work was great the other night, and our transition work, whether it be defence to attack, attack to defence, I thought that was pretty good as well. So yeah, we obviously want to keep improving our defence, because that will be the main thing that you want to stand for, really. I know the defence has been pretty good, but there's still a lot of room for improvement.
Okay, folks.
Can I just ask one? Is that, how much have you planned as laid out that way, and how much of that is going to roll your punch?
You've just arrived, Mary, haven't you? This question, we've been asked this question over the last, but yeah, all best laid plans. I know I keep on saying this, but we have teams laid out, and we think it could go that way, but it changes. Honestly, it changes daily, because it isn't just what happens in the games, injuries, form, or whatever, or what you would like to see. It changes daily in regards to, you know, such a body can't train. He's been ill. He's not good. So yeah, you've got an outline, and you tend to stick-ish to that. But as I've been saying all along, 100% stay open-minded enough to let people find their way as well.
Okay, folks.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thank you.